Hey everybody, welcome back into the video. So, we got some pretty terrible news when it comes to Microsoft.
What? What the fuck?
Why did I, kind of point that out? Because 10,000 people were laid off. Yesterday by the time you see this video. And it points a pretty bleak picture. I can't deny that when it comes to Halo, especially. It's not just 343 who's had layoffs. I'd say they were definitely hit the hardest based on what we know, but also Bethesda, Coalition. I think those were the other two that were the other two studios that Microsoft has that were affected by this. Anyway, we have a ton to go over, so let's go because there's a lot of information here. Anyway, we're gonna start with Windows Central. Changing economic climates and an impending recession have led to thousands of jobs being lost across a multitude of tech and media companies. Microsoft is the latest company to announce mass layoffs, and new info reveals that multiple key studios for Xbox are being affected, including Bethesda, 343, and the Coalition. Earlier on Wednesday, Microsoft confirmed earlier reports but announced an intention to lay off 10,000 employees across the company starting today, and throughout the end of its quarter 3 of fiscal year 2023, ending in June. Don't think it's kind of funny. That's around the time the Activision deal is supposed to go through, but probably not. Anyway, additional info from sort of like Kotaku and industry insiders like Jay Schreier. I have a separate image of this tweet. We'll go over that later. While only representing less than 5%, Microsoft's massive global workforce, 10,000 employees across a number of division teams, are sadly losing their positions, including a number of employees at Bethesda, up behind the upcoming RPG Starfield, the Coalition behind the Gears of War series, and 343 developers behind Halo Infinite. Exact numbers aren't available for the amount of layoffs at each studio, nor is it clear if their in-progress projects are affected, but any amount of loss may be concerning. Bethesda is in the process of finalizing Starfield. It's the most ambitious game of all time, while also continuing early work into the next installment in Elder Scrolls. The Coalition is reportedly working on the next Gears title and an unannounced new IP. Continuing, of the three studios, it seems that 343 may have been hit the most. The dev has reportedly been afflicted with a long-running hiring freeze and an exodus of contractors who worked on Halo Infinite now. It seems the studio has been hit hard by these layoffs, according to Schreier. We'll get into it, what he said. Despite the strong foundation, Halo Infinite is considered to have been mismanaged at launch, with a paltry amount of content as a failure by 343 to address the community's concerns. While the game is in a far better state than it was at launch, it's clear that Infinite's reputation among gamers has yet to fully recover, possibly contributing to the announced layoffs. One major loss has been confirmed, however, is the departure of head of creative Joe Staten, who joined the team in 2020, helped right the ship and guide the game toward launch. I'll point out something with that later. Staten is reportedly leaving 343 to rejoin Xbox Publishing. Remember, folks, that's where he was before he left to go to 343 to essentially get the game on track, basically, for launch. While not a layoff, Staten's departure is occurring alongside everything else happening in 343. It's unknown how Microsoft's flagship FPS will be affected by the change in leadership. The layoffs of the studios behind some of the best games arrive in the wake of Microsoft's ongoing attempts to acquire Activision Blizzard's landmark deal worth $69 billion, but you basically kind of get the point. So basically what they're kind of getting at right there, essentially if the deal goes through, they'll essentially be adding on the amount of talent employees they just released, basically. But now let's get into what Jason had to say on Twitter. Joe Staten, who joined 343 in 2020 to steer Halo Infinite toward the finish line, is leaving the studio. It sounds like 343's campaign team got hit hard. Well, there goes that campaign DLC that we heard rumors about. In an email to staff, studio head Pierre Hines wrote that we made a difficult decision to restructure elements of our team, which means that some roles are to be eliminated. And that's kind of what we got, unfortunately. But there's even more information out there. LordsofGaming.net actually got some exclusive information into the fact of how many people have actually left 343. According to some sources who spoke to Lords of Gaming, on the condition of being anonymous, significant layoffs were announced today by 343. The studio was handling back in 2007 since they released multiple games like 4, 5, Infinite, obviously. According to our sources, at least 60 people at 343 have been laid off this morning from this developer, A significant portion of the workforce, which at its peak employ over 450. The layoffs are being across the company, however, they are heaviest toward individuals working on the single-player side of the studio. 343 has had some difficulties in returning the franchise to the heights that employ under Bungie's control. Yeah, that's a major understatement. Halo Infinite launched to widespread acclaim, but struggled to keep pace as a live service game. The studio had difficulty managing the kind of perpetual content drops popularized by rivals in the space like Fortnite and Destiny. Last September saw the departure of Bonnie and David Perk from the studio. Today's layoffs continue to show the studio is in a transition period. These layoffs are part of a larger amount of Microsoft, which will include workforce reductions, many 10,000. This according to a memo from Satya Nadella, while other studios experience layoffs are unknown. More on the story as we uncover it. And I kind of get over my whole point, there are two actually ex-343 developers who have actually three in one of the replies actually to the first I'm gonna show you, where they absolutely nail it on the head. Like where about the whole Halo situation where it could have easily been avoided. It really could have. But anyway, let's go. Here's Patrick Wren, who left 343. I think it was like last year. I believe he was a senior multiplayer designer on Halo Infinite. The layoffs at 343 shouldn't have happened, and Halo Infinite should be in a much better state. The reason for both of these things is absolutely incompetent leadership up top during development, causing massive stress on these working hard to make Halo the best it could be. The people I worked every day with passionate about Halo and wanted to make something great. They helped push for a better Halo and got laid off for it. Devs still there are working hard as hell on that dream. Look at Forge. Be kind to them during the awful time. I completely agree, and here's a reply from another X-343 developer. Don't forget the heavy reliance on contractors/vendors and that messed up systems, though I know that's more Microsoft. I would have loved to stay on the team if I could. It would work my way up. Still, one of my favorite jobs I've ever been. Oh man, the contract stuff and a whole can of worms, that pisses me off. So many amazing people and talent that just disappear. And that seems to be a common thing. And here's one last ex-developer, which is funny enough because I've actually had friendly interactions with him. He's actually the one who made my intro. For those who don't remember, when I kind of first debuted the new intro, that was him. He did that out of kindness, so I will forever be grateful that he went out of his way to do that. Anyway, here we go. Yup, definitely true and unfortunate to see. So, Microsoft.
You blew it. Bish.
Yeah, you freaking blew it big time. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, how? I don't know how to really say it. Like, it's so awful. Like, what happened here. Like, especially with 343, man. They are responsible for your biggest IP. The IP that put Xbox on the fucking map. And you want to do this shit? And you got some goal. How about instead of worrying about acquisitions, how about you actually kind of clean up your management first? And I know people kind of like to bring up, oh, Stain was supposed, the franchise doom and gloom. I don't think so. It's just in a weird spot right now, especially with the whole mass transition. Because if you remember, folks, the leadership at 343, the top leadership, I should say, got a massive overhaul in, I think, September. And it's now, close to end of January, so not even 6 months. So not even 6 months. So I think I said I said it back then, it's gonna be a while before we see any major changes from 343, but so it's still pretty clear that it's still in a transition phase, and it's very uncertain what's gonna happen now. But damn, so many jobs lost, man. And this is on top of the whole contractor nonsense and the hiring freeze that Microsoft is at right now. Damn. But this isn't just at Microsoft, this is across the entire tech industry, as Windows Central noted. But damn, so many jobs lost, man. During a time like this. I'm speechless, really. I really don't know what to say again, but man, what a damn shame. Halo was so close to having a resurgence, man. They just had to nail the launch, man, but they fucked it up because of incompetent management over there. And now y'all happy now? Now y'all happy? you fucking incompetent management. Now all the bad weeds are seemingly gone now, but that's kind of wishful thinking, so I really don't know what's next, but I really don't know. I can't. Maybe the last time I was like kind of this speechless about something was when Bonnie left, unironically, which was last September. It's absolutely insane to me how Microsoft could mistreat its biggest franchise that put Xbox on the fucking map like this. It's ridiculous. Unreal. It's unfreaking real. It's Microsoft's Mario. Think about that for a second, and they're treating it like shit pretty much. Halo deserves so much better, man. It deserves so much better. It's unbelievable that they treat it like this, man, where it's essentially floundering at this point, man. Well, say goodbye to that campaign DLC. That's definitely canceled with all this, because, like the reports noted, the heaviest was the campaign team. And for those who are kind of saying that, why you rely on Staten to save the series, why are y'all like placing it so much faith on one person? It takes a whole gargantuan effort, especially for a studio like 343. So, and they even said back then he was only gonna stick around for a bit, which is kind of what happened. He stayed at 343 for what, almost 3 years, I think. Yeah, because he joined in late 2020, and it's now the beginning of 2023. So he kind of did his job in getting Infinite out the door, and now he's kind of going back to his old position where it was. Now that there's a new management structure in place, and seemingly they're still cleaning house, but I don't know like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen now at this point. I know Ultimate Halo, who they work actually at 343 now, they said that Halo isn't going anywhere, and for the record, I believe that. I don't think Halo is going anywhere. So for the people like Doom and Gloom saying it's gonna be dead or not, I think you're overreacting a little bit, because you kind of always saying the same thing, before Bonnie left. They were saying the same thing, oh, fire 343, whatnot, and all that nonsense. How would that work? Man, I've seen a lot of hot takes with this news, so I kind of, I was at the point like where I was just like, kind of waiting. I'm at a wait and see at this point, but to the people that are saying that Halo is officially dead or whatnot, no, I don't think so. But is it really bad optics? Absolutely. There's no denying that. Especially when Microsoft's trying to buy Activision Blizzard, where, again, they'll be roughly getting, 10,000 employees alone, which is essentially the amount of employees they just laid off. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with 343 now, especially once major changes actually start happening with the new management, with Pierre in charge and everything. It's going to be very interesting to see where things are headed, but we're very uncertain times, so I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. But at the end of the day, this is horrible news, and I really hope all the talented developers who are laid off from 343, Bethesda, and Coalition get back on their feet and wind up somewhere where their talent will be fully utilized to their most potential. And for the remaining 343 developers that are still there, you got my sympathy, man. Everyone should kind of send their sympathy as they go through a really awful time, because they've been through so much, man, in the past couple of years. What a train wreck, man! All because incompetent management did not know how to handle the teams right for both campaign and multiplayer. And Patrick actually noted in a separate tweet, by the way, that he has nothing but praise for the multiplayer leadership. So it's entirely, essentially, their upper management at 343 as a whole, not exactly, individual teams like the multiplayer one, for example. It's pretty clear that campaign DLC is canceled, which is a damn shame, because I was really looking forward to that, especially after that ending we got. But man, wow, wow, Anyways, I think I kind of summed up what I want to say, but yeah, I'm pretty speechless and pretty angry at Microsoft for the shit show that they're treating their top franchise. Halo deserves better. Get your asses act together, Microsoft, and do better. Give Halo the proper treatment that it fucking deserves. It deserves to be on top once again. It's your biggest IP, so treat it like it actually is. Anyway, that's all I got really to say now. What do you guys think of this horrible news? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, hit the like button, send it out. I really appreciate everyone's support, as as the sub count has been actually being getting up now. So it's now almost 340 now. Would be cool if I reach 350 soon, but anyway, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a great one.